Hello. Shall we start the okay. Good morning, all. Am I audible, sir? Good morning, all, and welcome to all of you. Myself, Ashwini Lat. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all in this 1 week online faculty development program on research methodology on behalf of PVPIT Budga. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all again in this auspicious occasion of inaugural function of 1 week online faculty development program on research methodology. First, I welcome today's speaker and guest for this inaugural function, Dr. Prakash Apte sir, and all participants who have joined this program. This 1 week online faculty development program is organized with consistent support and encouragement from our respected chairman, Dr. VP of Dr. VPSSM, MP Honorable Shri Vishal Dada Patil, trustee of Dr. VPSSM Honorable Shri Amit Dada Patil, and our honorable principal, Dr. B.S. Patil sir, Dean R&D, Dr. S.S. Kulkarni sir, and head of the department, Dr. P.P. Avte sir. And I welcome all departmental faculties and participants once again. This research development program and faculty development program is organized. That is, there is a reason behind this. That is, many researchers and educators need the essential skills and knowledge about its high quality research, and participants typically learn about the research design, methods, and data collections, and analysis also in literature techniques and ethical considerations in their research and literature review in their research work. Uh, for this program, I request our head of the department, Dr. P.P. Apte sir, to give the welcome speech.
Good morning, all. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Dignitaries present for the inauguration. Today's chief guest, Dr. Prakash Apte sir, experts of all sessions, all the participants across the India who have registered for this FDP, coordinators, organizing committee, and all the faculty members. Myself, Dr. Pankaj Aute, head of the mechanical department of this prestigious institute, PUPIT, delighted to welcome you all for the 1 week faculty development program on the research methodology designed and planned from today, that is the 22nd of July to the 26th of July, on behalf of the mechanical department and PUPITs only. Our PUPIT is a renowned and leading institute in Western Maharashtra, established in 1983 and dedicated to the development and welfare of the student and society, particularly in rural and suburban areas. The institute is affiliated to the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technology University T2 and approved by the AICTE and recognized by the DTE. Currently, the institute is running 9 undergraduate programs, 5 postgraduate programs, and 7 diploma courses. As we all are the engineers, research is an inherent part of our daily routine. Therefore, everyone should be aware of the research methodology because research is not complete unless and until the research problem is resolved, the objectives are achieved, and research is published on a recognized platform. Therefore, systematic designing and the planning of the research is very important. The research methodology is a logical and systematic plan to resolve the research problem. It's a way of explaining how the researcher intends to carry out their research. Therefore, this research methodology describes how a researcher will conduct their study in order to get accurate results that addresses their aims and objective. It encompasses what data they are going to collect and where it from, as well as how it being collected and analyzed. Therefore, here our faculty development program, that is research methodology, will give you exposure to all participants with essential skills and knowledge to conduct high quality research. Participants typically learn about the research design, method of data collection and analysis, literature review techniques, ethical considerations in the research, and effective academic writing. This program is designed to enhance research proficiency and scholarly output among the participants, enabling them to contribute meaningfully to their disciplines. Our objectives of this research methodology FDP are to enhance the research skill, to develop the critical thinking and promote ethical research, to facilitate collaboration among the participants and mentor, and to support professional development and expand the knowledge base. So here on this occasion, in addition, I want to share some. I want to share one information that our MTech students studying in fourth semester published their research works in SCI as well as the Scopus indexed journals, which is the great achievement. And expecting the same kind of or even better kind of the research from the participants who have joined this FDP. Once again, I welcome you all. Also, I am thankful to Honorable Vishal Dada Patil, MP and Chairman of our institute, and Vishal Amit Dada Patil, the trustee of our institute, principal and the management for the continuous support and guidance and encouragement for this FDP. Once again, thank you all. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Before the speech, I will introduce today's guest and speaker of this session, Dr. Prakash Apte sir. He has completed his BE in Electronics Engineering from Indore University and MTech in Electronics Engineering from IIT Kanpur, and he has also completed his PhD in Physics from Bombay University. First, I will tell his past occupation. He had He has worked as a research scientist at TIFR Mumbai between 1970 to 2001, and he has worked as a professor at IIT Bombay between 2001 to 2012, and he has retired as a professor emeritus IIT Bombay from 2012 to 2014, and after retirement, he has worked at COEP as adjunct professor from 2014 to between 2016, and from 2017 to till date, he currently is working as adjunct professor. And in this currently his present occupation is working as adjunct professor at COEP, and also he is founder and president of Apte Innovate, Robust Innovation Training and Consultancies actually he has founder from 2017 to till date. And during his career, uh, I am happy to and proudly speaking about him because during his career he has contributed his knowledge and invented most of the things and design and fabricated. So in 1972, he has he has designed and fabricated of first TTL IC in India, and in 1977 to 78 he has worked as a research associate at Stanford University, and in 1979 he has designed and fabricated first MEMS sensor in India, and in 1986 he set up full fab facility for TTL 7400 series in Korea. And in 1991 to 1994, he has invented and designed that is high TC superconductor VIPCO microwave devices. So these are the different achievements during his career. So I'm very happy. So we got his time for this session as an expert and resource person. So I would like to invite and request Dr. Prakash Apte sir to start his session.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
So, Miss Ashwini Lard was a student of mine. Can everybody hear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. He was a student of mine in the RM course held at COEP recently. So, I think her smiling face tells all. She enjoyed our little interaction through the course, and now I am here with you. I think there are 60 plus participants, and I would like to draw your attention on the schedule of this today's program. So I see the schedule myself. It is a 5-day program with morning session followed by an afternoon session. So there are basically 10 such sessions. And I am going to cover the first session. So I take the liberty of giving you a very generic uh, perception of what is the research methodology. And later, my session tomorrow will give something more particular, but I'm sure the other 8 sessions will cover various aspects of whatever I am going to tell as an overview. And therefore, please take most out of this course. Research methodology is not only for doing PhD. Research methodology is a way of life. It is a systematic way of life. If each of you individual set a goal for yourself in your career or life, and at the end of say the next 5 years, you set a goal of achieving or solving a good research problem, may lead to a PhD or may lead to publications otherwise also. And basically, never set a low goal, always set a high goal. So what I mean is that research methodology in short is nothing but first decide what topic, generic topic you are going to do, then focus on to something specific that needs to be done, and then define a research problem. If you solve that problem, you will get good results, world-class results, which are publishable. So this is our ultimate goal. And each of these activity is going to take some time, but I have a way of telling you in my lectures how to do it quickly, because don't take this research activity as a 5-year long activity or like that. One can do it in shorter time as well. So basic idea is define a world-class problem for your activity research, and find uh, do conduct research and get world-class results which are publishable. So with this introduction, I welcome you all, and hopefully you will all enjoy all these sessions, the how to do research, and how to publish, and how to do ethical publishing. That means your own work only should be published, and give credit for all the others whose research you have used, because it is necessary that the research must be done properly, and it must also appear to be done properly. As they say in legal word, that when a case comes before the judge, not only he is supposed to give the his verdict, but he must also appear to have done all the work, and therefore all these 500, 600 page verdicts are there, because whatever punishment otherwise he gives, it must be justified. So exactly same way, when you get the research good results, you have to justify what method, step by step method that you have followed to get that wonderful result. So research methodology is all this. Take a topic, define problem, do conduct the research, get world-class results, and final publish the results to get the peer review, and get the pat on your back from the peers of that subject. So, Miss Ladd, can I now share my PPT?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can share it.
Okay. Oh no. Let me share it again. I'm sharing my PPT.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Are you seeing it full screen now?
Yes, sir. Full screen.
Okay. Any problem?
No, sir. No.
Shall I begin now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So everybody keep your mics off. Only when you want to speak, you can press the tab, and momentarily you can speak to me. So let me begin with this. Let me get a cursor here. So we are having this first session on the research methodology. This is a 5-day FDP. So I'm going to only do a very basic overview in this lecture, and little bit more detail in the next lectures. And then all the other speakers are going to talk about various subtopics of this, and enlarge on them. and get you more information. So research methodology, I normally say that it is for defining the PhD problem as well as solving the PhD problem. So if you are not doing PhD, for example, working engineers and people who are doing research who are already PhD and professors and they have students to guide, etc. Or you have got you know uh, centers of excellences where a particular research proposal has been accepted for funding and then that research has to be done. So how to define a good research problem, either to solve that problem or to get a funded project. So research methodology is excellent for defining the research problem, but not only that. So this is the part one, define the problem. The part two is solve the problem. Naturally, so several other people will give more input to how to solve such problems systematically, so that when you get world class result, you can convince the peers that you have done it systematically, and the good results were properly done and anticipated and predicted. So let me move forward. So I have got these basic three headers here. The first one is the basic research methodology. This I am going to show you as a flow chart, like in computer. When you write a program, you have got a flow chart of you begin, initiate this and then go to the towards the end. The second one is the need for innovation. See, not only you have to solve, define and solve problems, you have to do it in an innovative, novel way. Now, this innovation or invention are the key words for today's world, and you have not to do it in a routine way. You will understand when I go further. The routine way is an obvious way where some little bit of work is done, and obviously you get some result. But here we are aiming for innovation or invention, which means that we are going to solve it in a novel way, in a non-obvious way, and it is giving world-class results. So innovation word I'm going to explain a little bit later. And the third bullet here is the next lecture, in which I'll go a little bit into some detail, but I'll stop up to the define the right problem, because I think every other speaker is going to talk about various steps to be taken after one defines the problem. So let me move forward. Since this is the course offered by mechanical engineering department, and I assume that naturally 90% of the audience will be from. Is somebody's microphone on? Thank you. So I have got these two flow charts. One is the engineering method. I'll just read quickly. It begins by selecting the guide and topic. Then you do literature survey. Then you specify the requirements of your problem, or specify the requirements of what you want to do, what I call define the problem. And then you do various things, develop prototype solution, test whether you got what you wanted. If solution meets the requirement, that means you actually solve the problem which you have chosen, then you communicate the results, as in publish a paper in conference or in referred journals. If solution meets requirement only partially, even then you can publish. Most of these partially good results are publishable in conferences, but very good results are required for publishing in the journals. So if partial is not satisfactory to you, then you go. Yes, sir. Okay. Pardon? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, let me go back. Yeah. Let me. Let me start all over again. I'll stop sharing. It's not going. It's not going in F5. Okay. If I share the entire screen, then it goes into this multiple. Ashwini, are you there? Yeah. You can do that. That's why I sent it. So you'll have to forward it whenever I give signal. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you stop here. Okay, I'll talk on this slide. Audience okay with that? Ashwini?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
So I will get the I don't know whether my cursor is visible now. Is my cursor visible? Okay. So we have these two engineering and science flowcharts. One on the left is the engineering method flowchart. The other side is the scientific method flowchart. But I thought that since this FDP is basically uh, proposed and run by mechanical department, I think majority of the participants also will belong to that or some other engineering, if at all. There is not too much difference in the two flowcharts. So now please go to the next flowchart. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. So this is the flowchart which I have taken for the research methodology. Please click the first one. Click. Yeah. So this is the first stage of your research methodology. There are basically four major stages, as you will see later. So the first stage is called explore. So your research actually begins, if you are a PhD student, the research begins by, joining the department for PhD and registering with a guide. So with the guide, you discuss. Screen not visible, Tejasri says. Is everybody else, you can advise her how to see it by giving a message. So, so the guide and you decide a broad topic and start doing literature survey. Please click the next one. So this is how to define the problem as a hypothesis. Next stage. Next click. Yeah. So this is the basically the second big step of your thing. So the first step would probably take a couple of weeks, but this defined problem will take a month or two, or what we call literature survey. Uh, Unfortunately, some students and researchers think that it requires more time, so they take 6 months, and sometimes they take even 1 year. And there is a presentation every 6 months or 1 year, depending on the college and the research program. So then it get extended to 1 year, which I don't like. So one should not take too much time in doing literature survey. It is good to start working instead of getting stuck at the Savan Vani. Please put off your microphone. Please mute your microphone. Are you presenting? No, I get a different view. Okay, this is better. So you please click on this. Yeah. So we are talking about the second stage is a very big stage. And after the first stage of the initial 15 days or so, you define or focus on a topic which you want to work. But then we have to do the literature survey. And why we do the literature survey is not only to find out what others have done, but also to find out what they have not yet done. Because sometimes the perception among researchers, younger researchers, is that the literature survey is done to find out what others have done. And later, then they have to do it all over again to find out what they have not done. So it is better to combine both together. So when you read a paper or any article, you basically make it in two columns. The first column on the left hand side, first column says that what they have done, and the second column says what they have not done. Critically, you have to write what you think they have not yet done. For example, some simulation of mechanical gadgets have been done in 2 dimension and not done in 3D body models. Then with ANSYS, you have to do a 3D ANSYS model and then do steady state or transient or frequency responses. So then you say that they have done okay 2 dimensional thing, but basically the all real systems are in 3D. They have not done 3D like that. So all the work that you read during literature survey, basically fill it up 2 columns. First column is what good thing they have done, and the next column critically you write what they have not yet done. So literature survey is not only for finding out what others have done, but also to find out what they have not yet done. Okay. So please click the next one. Yeah, next one. Yeah. So previous. So what you now want to say after reading a lot of literature, what is your research hypothesis? See, hypothesis is like that. So one hypothesis is that if I open the tap in the bathroom, well, hypothesis is that when you open the tap, the water will flow. So this is called a statement, or this is called a hypothesis. But then you have to see whether the water is flowing or not. If there is enough water in the tank, if the enough water in the tank is not there, it will not flow. So we have to say research hypothesis is one, that if I achieve this, so if I am able to do this 3D model and do steady state, transient, as well as frequency response of that 3D model, then I would have achieved good result. So this is an hypothesis. So you make a statement that instead of the 2D model, if I do a 3D model, my results are going to be much better. And the requirements will be written what that 3D model is and what results are not given in the prior work and what new results you are expecting. And then you have to compare the hypothesis and then say the hypothesis is true. Okay. So this is one way of doing it. So find the gaps and then go to the next one. So now define problems as gaps in literature. I will just come to that. Next one. Please click. Yeah, another click. Yeah. So basically, you have to find gaps in literature. That means, suppose I read 2 very good papers and they are all giving very good results. They have got a lot of citations. They are in very top journals. So that means their basics are good and they are giving good results. But if you read these 2 papers, you find that even in these 2 papers, something is not yet done, which is common. That means something common has not been done. Otherwise, you read 2 papers, somebody has done 3D model, somebody has not done 3D model. Then you cannot say that a 3D model has not been done. But if both the papers have not done 3D model, or both the papers have, or one paper has done 3D model, but he has not done transient simulation, then you say 3D model is done, but transient simulation is not done. So that we should do. So like that, you have to take two papers at a time, 2 good papers at a time, and find out if there is a gap in that. That means something has not been done. And then a collection of such gaps in literature regarding your topic is going to be my basically the hypothesis, that if I fill up the gaps, my PhD is done. So hypothesis means a statement. After all the work that you will do in stage 3 and 4, you have to say that now I find that what my hypothesis was, that the 3D model transient simulation gives me much better understanding of what the system is, and I can modify and improve that system because transient model has been done. Earlier it was not done, and therefore it was lacking some good results. So like that, please give the next click. So this becomes my research hypothesis, that if I fill several gaps in the literature, I work on 3-4 gaps parallelly because it is the same topic. And then I say that if several of these gaps or some of these gaps are filled, that means I get a good result, then I will say my research hypothesis is done. That means my PhD is done or my research is complete. And therefore, this should take 3 to 6 months and not much more time. So please go to the next slide. So this is the stage 3, research methodology, conduct research and get world-class results. See, I therefore blocked the first two stages just to avoid cluttering. So now I come to the third stage. It has got three stages. That means you have to brainstorm, get an idea, then you have to choose one possible solution, then you have to develop a prototype solution. And if luckily it gives you a solution which is satisfying my filling up the gap, then I say below that my solution meets requirement and I can publish it. But not so fast. Research doesn't happen in this way. And this conduct research, the third stage, is not a single work pattern. It is a do. 3 times iteration is required. So the first do is to take a prototype solution and see if my results are getting better. But they are not yet better than the world's results. Then I suggest some modifications and possible improvements, and then I do it again, the second iteration. Then I get result as good as the world's result. Then I get some more ideas, and I modify my work research conduction and do more experiments or more simulations, whatever is my basic work. And then I will hopefully I'll get several good results which are better than the best in the world. And therefore then I say I got world-class results. And then it will go to the fourth stage. Next one, please. So publish results in refereed journals. Next one. Yeah. So I have to keep doing this iterative thing. Usually it has to be done 3 times. So if I now propose how to do it quickly, for example, the stage 1 explore and select topic is 15 days or 1 month. Then literature research, literature survey and finding gaps in the literature like 3 to 6 months. So let's say total 6 months is gone. And now I do the conduct the activity. If each activity to 2 months, then in 6 months I would get a good result, right? So total 6 plus 3, 9 months I will get a good result. Just like a baby is born, right? 9 months it takes. If a baby takes more than 9 months, even by 10 more days, you get worried, right? So similarly, in research also, you should get worried if you don't get the first good result in 9 months. Otherwise, it will go on prolonging. So till the solution meets the requirement. What was the requirement? Several gaps were identified, and our objective was to fill up the gaps and get better result than the best in the world. And if yes, then we will publish it. So to summarize all of these 4 stages, next slide, please. So first one, click. So explore. With your guide and you explore the broad topic and then focus into a subset of that, a specific small topic. Then you define the problem by doing literature survey in a critical way, not only to find out what people have done, but to also find out what people have not yet done. Okay. So several gaps should be found. Say, I'm suggesting 3 to 4 gaps should be found because you don't know which one will get world-class results. And then we say once the gaps are filled, then we say that my research hypothesis is true. That means I got a good result. But to do that in the stage 3, I have to do it 2-3 times. This is called iterative. And each iteration should plan to take only 2 months at each time. So fourth one, next click. Till you get the best results, better than the best in the world. And then we have done literature survey. We have found already the world's own results. We have already found the gaps. And once you get a good result in that gap, then we can straight away publish. And already our references, 20 papers that we have referred and whatever activity you have done, we are all ready to write the paper. So that is a good part of this research methodology. It has been done systematically, and we have tell the referees who are going to read our papers, who are going to judge our quality of the result by saying that we have followed this procedure. Therefore, the result is expected and result is good. Next one. The same thing somebody else has said in a different way, and I give you this particular slide because there are different ways of looking at RM, not only the flow chart, but totally different ways of doing it. Maybe the science and the social sciences people also do research. Political science people also do research. History, geography, languages, they are also doing research. So there should be a very generic pattern which fits everything, including the engineering research. So 4 phases of research, PhD is okay. 4 phases of research. So first one, please click. Yeah. Explore possible topics before focusing on a motivating research question. That's what we said, right? You and your guide will take a broad topic and slowly say that, I must work in this area. The second one, please click. The initial phase of literature review and a plan of data gathering from variety of sources. So not only say experimental work in your own college will lead to data. That's only one way. But if possible, you should get data from other sources also. In many other fields, data are available from many other sources, and you can use that data and generate your own data also, but combine both the data to say that your results are good. Generally, unless you compare your own good result with somebody else's good result and then say my result is better, the chance that it will get published is very less. You have to compare your results with the already accepted results. That means you will get data from various other sources. You compare their results with your own results and say my results are better in this way compared to that result, then the publication is possible. Third one, please. Next. Now, your others' data is there with you, right? What others have done. Now conduct your own research to gather, organize, analyze data and draw conclusions. What are the conclusions? You have systematically followed all variables which are there in that particular topic, considered everything and varied everything, and got your own results, and say that for these particular variables are dominant, and for a particular setting of these variables, I get the best result. So that's the conclusion. This is called analyze the data and conclude which of the variables are dominant and what settings of those variables are giving me the world-class results. Then I compare with the previous one, what I have collected as a basically literature survey during the literature survey. Next one, fourth one. Share, publish what has been learned through writing, presenting, and multimedia. Now, sometimes you wonder if you got a project which is not for PhD, but it is a project which you have undertaken as a commitment. When you take funding for some particular activity, center of excellence and so on. So sometimes you wonder whether you should publish or not. Actually, since we are working on this particular way that we read everybody's, what they have done or what they have not done, and then only do our work. So when we get a good result, it is necessary that you publish. Otherwise, some 100 other people in the world will be unnecessarily doing the same thing all over again, isn't it? So you must avoid that. So we are standing on the shoulders of giants, right? Those who have done earlier work. So we also should contribute. Otherwise, after some time, everyone will be doing further research. So some research is being done in, your Baba Sahib Ambedkar University, submitting PhD, and nobody knows what you have done. Then somebody else in, Uttar Pradesh or somebody else in East Asia countries will be doing the same thing all over again. So it is absolutely necessary to maintain continuity of improving the world's knowledge. You have to share your good result. And you have to also prove that you have done it systematically, you have followed this particular 4 stages of research, and therefore your good result compares favorably with respect to all earlier results, and you have added to the knowledge which existed. So it is necessary that we have to add to the knowledge. If you were an industry entrepreneur, then you use somebody's knowledge and modify it and get better result. Sometimes you will not even file a patent. Sometimes you will keep it secret. So that is a different thing. So you want to make use of your improvement to go into product so that your product will sell better and will capture market share. But if you are doing research for the purpose of PhD or doing research for the purpose of academic projects that you have taken under funding, then it is necessary that you have to publish. If nothing else, at least publish an internal report. The first thing you do is an internal report, which you submit to your own department or your own, you know, uh, you know, the team which is looking after your project and or the funding agency, and otherwise you publish it to the entire world in refereed journals and in international conferences. So this is basically the same four things which are there, which I showed you in the flow chart type of research table. Next one, please. Yeah. Wait. Give me that blank slide. So I'm going to tell you a story about a corporate man goes to visit his aunt in a small town. So this story is about a young man. He is climbing the corporate ladder. So he is a senior manager after 10 years of work. Now he hopes to become a VP, vice president. So this is the way you climb up. So he has an aunt in a small town, and she is saying to him that you're not come for a long time. Please take 1 week off and visit me. So one Thursday, Friday, he decides that why not? I'll go over this weekend and visit the aunt. So he goes to the town. It is a small town with a small population, maybe 10,000. And it is you can assume that this story is about some Christian locality. So the aunt says on Sunday that come, let's go to the church. He said, oh God, I have to go to church with my aunt. Then she sees his face and recognizes that he is not very keen on doing that. She says, no, come. Whole town comes there. Even the young girls also come there. So he gets interested on listening to that, and he says, okay, why not? Let's go. So he goes there, and true, everybody important and otherwise free, they were there. And the father was giving some sermon. He had chosen a topic. So you can say the topic could be that people who are sinning, a variety of ways of sins. So whatever topic he chooses. And he gave an excellent lecture, no PPT, no nothing. He was just standing there, grandly dressed in his normal robe and everything. And in a serene voice, in a practiced way. He must have done it 1,000 times. He gave a wonderful lecture. So this young man was very impressed. So young man thought, oh God, what a way to do a presentation, completely cover an entire topic and nicely convey the important things in that. So he goes after the lecture and meets father, says, I come from the town, from the city. Sir, I liked your lecture, very, very excellent lecture. Please tell me, how you do it. He says, no, I mean, it is done, practice, practice makes perfect. I have been doing it for a long time. But sir, please tell me, how do you do this? He says, son, are you there in the next Sunday? Then you will know. He says, no, sir. Please tell me. He said, no, come next Sunday. So this man, goes back, and on Monday he goes back and then comes back again next Sunday just to know from the father how he does that. So this time the father has taken another topic that, connected topic. This is the way they do it, continuously. There are people who sin, minor sins, major sins, whatever. And then all others have to forgive. So how to forgive? How to forgive and forget? So he gave another excellent lecture. Again, no PPT, no nothing. Very serenely, beautifully, he kept on telling. Everybody was engrossed and, listening to it carefully. And he was watching all the people also. They're very attentive. And in a grand way, he finished by saying that the best way to forgive is to forget. Because if you don't forget, then you cannot forgive. So that's the conclusion. So he again goes to father and says, Father, another topic, wonderful, you have got to tell me. So father says, I told you, just practice, prepare, and deliver. Say, no, father, you have to tell me how you do it. Say, son, are you coming next week? He said, no, no, I cannot come next week. You have to tell me. Say, there are three things, young man. First, you have to tell them what you're going to tell them. Second, you have to tell them what you're going to tell them. Detail, everything. And the third, the most important, is to again at the end tell them what you have told them. The third one is the most important because you see that old lady sitting at the back benches knitting a sweater in the first two lectures. She was just sitting there, and today she looked up and says, Yes, I understand. So the third time, you have to give a summary of what you are told, right? So first you tell them what you're going to tell them. I told you that I'm going to tell you what is RM, four stages of it. Then I told you what are the four stages. And now I am to show you the summary of what I have told. Again, this time, all the 90 plus participants, somebody who has not understood, come late or otherwise, is going to now understand. Please, next slide, please. So please go on clicking number 1, 2, 3, 4. So explore, read, think, define problem, do till you get world-class results and publish. So I am sure I have shown you this chart so many times, you will learn it by heart. And this is the way every lecture that you give, even if it is a 45-minute, 5 minutes you have to connect it to the previous lecture, whatever you were doing. Then tell them what you're going to do in this lecture, then tell them. And in the end, again, 5 minutes, you have to tell them what you have told them. Otherwise, you always appear to be in a hurry and then the bell rings, then you have to cut short your lecture or extend your time, and then the next professor is fuming, at the gate because you have taken too much time. So all the way, the planning has to be done. Both, everything should be planned. The first one, stage 1 should be short. The stage 4 should be short. The stage 1 and 2, 2 and 3, in between are longer. Definitely, there is the main crux of your research problem definition and solving. The more accurately or in detail you define your problem, easier it becomes for you to solve it, though it takes time. And even more easier it becomes for you to publish because you have done it systematically. Next one, please. So I'm going to do this again. I'm sure most of the people in this 7 are going to talk about literature survey. It's so important. And doing the work is different people will do different things. So literature survey is a common topic. So I am also a little bit taken into that, but I'm not going to do a detailed one too much, just a short one today, just to impress on you the importance of defining problem. Next one, please. Click. So literature survey, just wait. So there are these three things: read, understand, get involved. In TIFR library, there is a poster, right? When you enter the library, they say, if you tell me I forget. No, it is written in bold letters. You tell me I forget. You show me I remember. You involve me, I understand. So telling you something, you'll forget. When I show with some examples, then you will remember those examples. And if I involve you in doing it, then you will actually understand. So read, textbooks, monographs, review papers, understand journal papers and patents, get involved, study all tools and techniques what are required for your research work. All this has to be done simultaneously, all these three. So it is not that first you will read textbooks and after 6 months of understanding what is in the textbook, only then you will start reading journal papers. Only when you finish reading all journal papers, then you will study what laboratory tools are available. No, all this has to be done simultaneously, 3 months. Next one, please. Next click. So read journal papers. So I am assuming that textbooks have been read. No, basically you understand, because when you select a topic and you focus on a topic, already that has been done, because you already know a little bit about the basics of that. So let's read. So read journals. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Next. Yeah. First click. So you have identified 10 to 20 papers from high impact journals. Which are the journals? These are the journals where you would also like to publish your paper. The good journals. So the standard journals, where you see good people are writing papers, so you also want your paper to be written in that, and therefore get a status. There is a stature, higher level given to that. This is called high impact journal. So make a list of 2, 3 top journals and read them. Read them what those journals contain, how much work is expected to get published, how the analysis and the conclusions are written. Because you have to finally, when you write a paper, you have to convince the reviewers that you have done great work. Okay. And you are writing it lucidly, very, very simple, quick, understandably, logically, sequentially, etc. So all high impact journals have this very standard pattern. When you read a paper, it will be a nice standard pattern. The way a good paper is written, right? Not only it should have good results, but the way it is written also is important. And they expect a certain minimum quality of your work and the results to go with that. Then next click, with many citations. What does it mean? That means so many other people have found it useful for finding problems for their own research, right? So not only the paper is good, it has given directions to so many other people. Suppose there are 20 citations, that means 20 people have found it important and useful for their own definition of problems, or critically understanding what is required to be done, etc. So 3 top journals and papers with more citations and more recent papers, not 1970 paper. Today we are in 2020s. So we should not have papers which are old only, because a lot of things have been already done. So more recent work, your writing a paper or doing research become easier. Next one. Most important, click please. So where do you find the gaps in the literature? Because a paper, once an author is writing a paper, he is only boasting about his great work, right? He is saying that somebody has done earlier something, not enough, I have now done more. So this boastful, so getting better results than previous workers is a boastful. So is he going to tell you? Is he going to tell you what you need to do? No, very rarely. He is not going to be that easily telling you what to do, because he or she himself will want to do that. But the pattern of good journals is such that in the discussion and conclusions, you have got to say what more needs to be done. And therefore, when you read a paper critically, to find what are the gaps are not very easy to find the gaps, because there's a boastful, the entire part is a boastful thing of doing it correctly and getting good results. Only this discussion and conclusion part is the author likely to say that what further needs to be done. For example, if somebody has done three-dimensional model with ANSYS, but has done only steady state, stress strain relations or whatever, the nowadays we are in ANSYS, you have got a thermoelectric, thermoelectromechanical, all three, you know, all three energy types are available. more complicated things can be done. So maybe he has not used all these three possible available unit cells, and then you can use it. So that's the way you have to find. So you have to find out what they are done, whether they use thermo, electromechanical, all three aspects, or only use mechanical, or use only thermomechanical but not electrical, and also not done transient and frequency analysis, etc. So you have to find out whether discussion and conclusion says something about future work. That is where you can say it is not a real gap, but somebody who is a good author has suggested that some more work needs to be done. It is not a gap, but we say this has not been done in the sense of gap. Next one, please. Read patents. Normally, engineering people do not read patents because they're difficult, because they're legal language type, very difficult to understand. But I'm going to tell you to read only the beginning, a little part, to allow you to define your problem or find the gaps in the literature. Next one, please. So in the patent, after the title and abstract, and of course the names of authors and all that, the title and abstract are given. Title is 1 line, abstract is 300 words, usual. There is the third one, which is called the background of the invention. This is like a half-page paragraph, usually in the font 10 A4 size, half page, quite a lot. So half-page paragraph, which says what is the prior art. The next line, the second line of that background of the invention, gives a short summary of the prior art, is what has been done. And please click the next one. But he does not give, the inventor does not only give prior art, what is important. He is basically trying to do fault finding with that. He has to say this has not been done. So he is going to now say there are problems with the prior art, there are flaws in the prior art, there are harms in the prior art, there are limitations or drawbacks in the prior art. And he is going to do one of them or more of them and get rid of them, right? Get rid of problems, flaws, harms, limitations, drawbacks, all these keywords are there. And usually the last line, usually the last sentence in the prior art has this problem, and my invention described below has solved it. This is the last line of that half-page paragraph. So isn't good? It's good for you, because he may have solved it in one way. You can take the same problem and solve it in another way. Or he may have pointed out more harms and limitations and drawbacks, of which he has solved only one of them. It's possible. So it is a very good, simple English language. This is not a legal language paragraph, right? This is a simple language paragraph, technical writing, in which you can find out what the prior art has not done or what prior art has still problems. So usually 90% of the patents are having elimination of problems or what we call harms. 90% of patents are removing some harm or the other which existed along with the main function of that particular object, a particular machine, a particular system. So there is a main system function, but then the harms. For example, you have got ATM, right? What is the main function of ATM? To dispense you money. This is the main function. The second auxiliary function is you should be able to find out the balance, and you should be able to change the PIN number, etc., etc. Right? So these are called the auxiliary functions. But what are the harms? The harms are that it does not give you the denominations which you want, right? You want only 100 rupee notes for the 1,000 rupee that you want to withdraw. It will give you a 500 rupee note and two 200 rupee notes and one 100. So machine will decide, depending on what it has, which denominations it can give. Sometimes it will give you two 500 rupee notes and you have no choice. So you wanted a 100 rupee note, but you won't get it. So this is called a harm. So question is, and there could be other harms, that your card gets stuck up or you don't remember the PIN, etc., etc. All this usually happening. So now we are having this cardless withdrawal of money. Then there are some other higher level precautions like retina test is done if you want to withdraw money, or if you want to withdraw more than 20,000 to avoid the risk, OTP is given to you. So like that, harms are getting eliminated one by one. But the main function is give you money, anytime money. So like that, many harms are there with the system which performs a certain function. And patents are there. 90% of the patents are there eliminating these harms. So 80% of all, can you go back a couple of slides? Yeah, here. If you read journal papers, it is only 10% of the date of the information that is available on that topic. Another 10% is in the textbooks and monographs and review papers. The patents have got 80% information. There are millions of patents. And you can now search patents for free. Earlier you had to pay money, but now you can go to USPTO site, US Patent Office site, and search freely and get any patent that you want. So 80% of the knowledge about that particular engineering system that you are going to work on is available in patents. And where in the patents? It is available in the background of the invention, which is just one paragraph you have to read. No mathematics there. So I think it is a very good option for the initial literature survey and finding out the gaps in the literature. The patents have to be read. So I always say, we go to the next slide. So, yeah. So 10 to 20 papers, journal papers, and 2 to 3 patents should be the minimum collection of material before you start conducting your own research. This is the minimum. 20 good papers and 2 to 3 patents which are, giving us some idea about what needs to be done, which harm has to be eliminated. Next one. Get involved. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Get involved. See, literature survey, I'm going to tell you. The literature survey, when you're doing reading journals, patent, textbooks, all this, at the same time, you have to get involved. You have to find out in your own laboratory what experimental facilities are available, what are your senior PhD students doing. If it is a center of excellence which is already there for some years, what earlier work was done, what was the good result, what facilities are available, what facilities have been asked and will arrive in next 6 months. Like that, you have to find out. So not only become a bookworm and do literature survey. No, you have to be continuously engaged with seniors who are already doing good research. And guide is one of them. He or she has done good research earlier, and engage with them to find out what are the things that you can do. So these 3 do's are what I call the 3 iterations. The first do is to get some good result. Then the second do is get comparable result with the world. The third one is better than the best in the world result. So get involved. All these 6 months, I'm telling you to define problems, is having this also. You have to. So at the 7th month, you should be able to start working in the laboratory. Next one. Yes, click. Never ending, This chart should photographically get etched in your memory. And let me now tell you the time scales. Explore 1 month. Read, think, define, do literature survey, find the focus of the problem, find the gaps in it, all to be done in 3 months. So it's a continuous process, but not more than 3 months. So therefore 4 months are gone. Then do every planned activity should be only 2 months. It should not be more than that. On existing facilities, what you can do, and therefore 3 planned activities, 2 months each, should get you a very good result. Whenever I say 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, you can add 50% excess. Even then, it doesn't go out of scale, right? You still get a publishable good result in the first 1.5 years, surely. So publish a good result in 1 year, and then you write it. Writing itself take 2 3 months. So many speakers following today onward, afternoon onward, are going to speak on how to write a research paper, how to write a journal paper, how to write conference paper, and what ethics have to be used for, being true to yourself and not give false or doctored data, etc., etc. So all this should be a time scale that in the first 1.5 years after you join the program, you are ready to publish or send a paper to a top journal of your choice, and hope that the referees are going to follow what you have written as a good research methodology, step by step process to get a good result. Next one. So now I talked about that it should not be a routine way. Somebody will say, just like any other fellow, it's just a routine work. The same simulation has been done, slightly modified geometry, but nothing new, right? So if you send a paper and you get a two word refusal or rejection, they say nothing new. So nothing new is such a big blow to you that you have done spent 6 months on it, and you still have got that rejection. The reviewers say nothing new. So you got to make it new. You got to make novel. You got to apply ideas which have not been used earlier. All these are part of the word innovation. Let's see a few of those examples. Next one. So this is a very profound statement that we have been hearing long time. Necessity is the mother of invention. So if it is necessity that you got a tap water leaking, right? Tap leaking in the bathroom, it's okay. You wait till it is a drop by drop, and then it is troubling you. But when it becomes a steady flow, you have to call the plumber and get it replaced. But if it was a poisonous liquid that is coming out in a factory, then you can't even allow a drop coming out, right? If it is a poisonous gas, then you can't even allow a gas to escape. So that means there is a necessity that since the liquid or the fluid is poisonous, you got to have the tap which is absolutely 100% closed. So then you have to invent. Then you have to have washers which will take care of that, and they will be long lasting, and their life can be very long, or you can periodically replace them and guarantee that it is not leaking. Then you should have a leak tester, etc., etc. All this is a part of the necessity because the fluid, liquid or gas, is poisonous. Like that, you have to say that though water in my bathroom is not poisonous or wash basin is not poisonous, I want to achieve that kind of tap. Then you have to go and buy some German taps, right? They don't leak for a long time. They don't have a rotating knob. It has a only 90-degree bend, right? It just opens 90 degree, 0 to 90 only. It cannot apply too much pressure on the washer because that too much pressure is going to crack the washer over time. So now the long-lasting taps are now available because we are putting that higher level criteria. So there is a necessity to say that I must have my new home flat with such kind of taps so they don't leak for years and years, 10 years, 20 years. So recently I bought a flat which was 10-year-old, and I found taps are the German taps, and it doesn't leak even after 10 years. Very good. So necessity drives you to do good work, right? Next one. Next click, please. The frustration is the mother of, next click. Frustration is the mother of innovation. So you are working in the lab or you're working on a simulator, and all that you can do is still not working, is not giving you the result you want. So this is called frustration. You try very 100 things, 100 ways, and over a period of a whole of week or month, you're not getting the result you want. So this is called frustration. So frustration is the mother of innovation. That means that frustration is caused because of something that you are overlooking, or something the importance of which is not very clear to you. And therefore, you have to get somebody else's help, a third party like me. So I'm a consultant to industries. What am I doing? I find industries who are frustrated with their own activity. The frustration is so much that they are not able to solve that problem. In spite of trying everything, the problem is still there. Then they invite me, then I listen to them, and then I find out, okay, what they are overlooking, what they have changed, which is detrimental. And therefore, problem can be solved by a external agency looking into that, so that some criteria which is not very obvious to everybody who is solving that, it becomes very clear to somebody who is outside. So your guide is one such person. The guide is not working with you on an everyday basis. So maybe the guide will have a view about something that is important which you are overlooking. And then that frustration, some idea will come, and that frustrating problem will get solved. So innovation is basically getting over a frustrating effort. Next one. I'll tell you where frustration comes. So why do PhD if 50% of you are assuming that you are either already PhDs or you are doing PhD. If you are already PhDs, then you have got students who are PhD students with you. So in some way, somebody is doing PhD. So why do PhD? So first criteria, click please, next click. Somebody says you must do PhD. Somebody said that you must do PhD, otherwise you'll not become full professor or you'll not become head of the department and so on. But there are so many musts in my life. I must take care of my elderly parents. I must take care of my family. I must take care of my business. I must. All this. Miss Mane, please mute yourself. Okay, thank you. So, one of my PhD students took more than 8 years and he had to be terminated. You know why? Because his brother-in-law fell sick and he had to attend to him. He lost 1.5 years. The brother-in-law had a big problem. I understand that. But when you are doing PhD, all the other must have to be somehow taken care of. So I'm sure somebody is laughing here. Ashwini is. So your spouse or your family support system has to agree that when you are doing PhD, some of the normal must activities will be done by them, so as to give you more time. So you have to balance this. So you cannot do everything that is a must. So basically, you should not say I must do PhD. Next one. Because 6 to 8 years is frustrating. So I should say I should do PhD because my college, PIT, and maybe COEP jointly with them, or IIT jointly with them, you can do things. So you should do PhD. You've got facilities, you've got a good guide. So facilities are there, good guide is there, and we can do PhD. So we should do PhD. So if should do PhD, then it will take less time. Next click. Take 4 to 5 years. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to do PhD, it will take only 3 years. That is why I'm telling you right from beginning that the scale, time scale for each of them should be predefined, because you are working against time. Your family is sacrificing. So many of your must activities are being done by them. And it is logical that you can't be just taking 6 to 8 years, because so frustrating for everybody. How long you are going to take? How long am I going to take? How long it is going to take? Everybody says, oh, I finished work 5 years, but my papers are not published. So that is so frustrating, because the paper publishing is the primary criteria for finishing PhD, right? It's mandatory. So we have to say that publish 2 papers, then PhD is done. So that means the 2 papers have to be published in 3 years. So the first paper should be ready in 1.5 years, like that. So just like you divide your work, laboratory activity, you have to also divide time. because everything is a time-bound activity. And 6 to 8 years is frustrating, 4 to 5 years is also not there, 3 years is good. So it may take 4 years, fine. But 3 years is a good target, for which I already told you. First publishable work finishes in 1.5 years. The next one finishes in 1 more year. Then you are ready to write at the end of 2.5 years. Enough work has been done to write PhD. Next one. Next slide. Yeah. So there are three other verbs which will take care of the frustration. Willing to do it. Somebody should not force you to do it. You should be willing to do it. Yes. Waiting to do it. You join as an assistant professor after a fresh MTech or something. Within 4 or 5 years, you feel that you are itching to do it, wanting to do it. So wanting is a very important verb. So I will say in today's thing, somebody in mechanical department should say, I want to be an expert and apply AI in whatever I am going to do. So I have to learn AI. I have to apply AI tools in the best way possible to do my PhD. So this is different. Nobody said that you have to use AI for doing PhD, right? But I will now say that I want to do PhD and apply AI. AI is a new thing. So I have to learn AI, for example. Or I have to do industry 4.0 anyway, I have to do, but industry 5.0 is coming, right? So in the my PhD, industry 5.0 should be there. More social criteria should be applicable there. 4.0 is absolutely must, but 5.0 should be there. So like that, I want to become an expert because PhD is going to be finished in 2 3 years, but I must go along with my time and be contemporary at that time. I should not be a old type of research and say, oh, I did that. I did electric welding or something. So I cannot do that, right? It's an old thing. The current thing is only friction welding, most latest. So like that, I must be working in my latest area and apply latest tools and thus become an expert. So you say, I want to become an expert in these latest activities, and PhD is just a part of it, right? There is more life after PhD, you understand? PhD will be finished in 4 5 years. If you are already something like 27 to 30, then at the age of 35, you are already PhD. So there is a lot of academic years available for you. So you must want to become an expert in that contemporary topic. Apply all contemporary tools, Industry 5.0, AI, and whatever next is available. All those things must become part of my PhD. Next one. So how to define and solve PhD problem? There are 4 guidelines here. So PhD is a difficult thing, takes time, right? It takes a lot of work also. A lot of work has to be put in. But I always say that a difficult problem, the problem should be difficult, right? But the solution should be simple. The methodology should make it simple, appear simple. I'll tell you that suppose I give you an algorithm for finding the roots, right? So if you have a number like 25, then the way you find root is that you write 25 and on the left side you write 5. The same 5 multiplier you put on the right. Then 5 into 5 becomes 25. So 5 becomes the root of that. So this is the algorithm. And you can take a much bigger number, a 20-digit number, in the same algorithm, you can find the root. So even though the digits could be 100, the method is simple, right? The algorithm for finding a root of 100-digit number, integer, is still simple. You have to just do it, 50 times. But if I give you a 50-digit number and I want you to find out the 2 primes which I have multiplied to get that number, then it is a more difficult problem. To find the 2 primes, a product of which is that number. So then it is called a difficult problem. And then there are people working on that. So that difficulty level is much higher compared to So your method should be simple, though may have to be done several times, just like the square root algorithm I told you. The method is simple. If the digits are 50, it'll take 25 steps to do it, because you normally take two digits below. So all this, your PhD is a difficult thing, but I have to make it simple, right? Simple doesn't mean shorter or lesser. Simple means they understand. The procedure is simple, RM. So first you have to take a topic. So correct thing is, say I will say that I want to work on the making integrated circuits. In my, when I graduated, I wanted to make integrated circuit. So I went to IIT where integrated circuits are possible. Then I went to TIFR, and then I chose a guide who was working in that. So that's the correct logic. But not always possible. Sometimes you are given a guide and the guide will give you a topic, right? So you don't take a topic. You first select a guide, and the guide along with you will select a topic. So the guide and topic can be reversed. What is the first major objective? First major objective is the registration and some kind of a synopsis, right? First is the registration, to get registered for PhD with the university. Some document roughly what topic you have chosen, what you are going to do, what are the problems there, very roughly, and title of thesis and abstract of whatever is there. So this will get you registered. So this is the first activity. Within first 6 months, you have to do that. So literature survey is required to do that, right? After, just immediately after literature survey, you can submit that. Then after you've done PhD work, a lot of do, 3 iterations you are done, then you have to write synopsis that my PhD is done. The synopsis has to be written, but for synopsis to be written, publish 2 papers. Have you published 2 papers? That's the question. So if you have published 2 papers and you are ready with synopsis, then PhD thesis can be written, or PhD thesis is complete. It's just a matter of time. So this is the what I call the simplistic chronological progress of your PhD work. Chronological. Yeah, Shruti, you want to say something? Oh, maybe she is just joined now. All right. So chronologically, these are the things. First, you should select a topic in which you want to become an expert. PhD is just incidental. Then you select a guide who is proficient in the topic. If the thing is reverse, it's fine. So you first take a guide, and two together will decide the topic. Then we have to do the first registration. Give a very small document, few pages, to say that this is what I am going to do towards PhD. Usually this registration document is such that once you give this topic, you cannot change that, in a big way. You can change a little bit, but you cannot change the topic in a big way. And then you say, I'm going to work on, this mechanical actuator, then get registered, and then say, now I'm going to work on some other activity. I'm going to work on planning of, welding, because that topic is not matching. So you have to be very careful in registration that the topic has to be so written, the work has to be so described in a generic way, so that the actual PhD topic, title and all that, will be within that purview. And the 2 papers that you publish also should be within that purview. Otherwise, you have to either re-register, or you have to change guide and so on. All right. So this is the simplistic chronological way that it happens. So topic and guide first month, the registration, that first document within the next 3 months after literature survey is done and gaps have been found. And then we have to publish 2 papers, first paper in 1.5 years, second paper in 2 years, 2.5 years. That's it. And then the work is done. Next one. So I have enough time left for audience to interact with me. So Please go to the next slide. Please display the next slide after this. So this is my topic tomorrow. The select topic, do literature survey and define the right problem. So I'm going to remain and define the right problem. But I'm sure there will be a lot of overlap with other speakers, particularly in the do literature survey part. But you should be patient enough to hear everybody out. So I now throw the audience any queries and comments, or even if professors are there who are guiding PhD students, if they have any comments, you can please unmute yourself and speak. Otherwise, I'll have to ask Ashwini to ask me a question, compulsory, because everybody is going to take time to open up. Since you are an organizer, it is your duty. So, what did you find in my lecture?
Sir, as you
Comment.
have simply explaining the four phases of the research, means how to find the research right problem for doing a PhD, and the stages in very simple manner, and there are some difficulties for defining any problem, means right problems, means the frustration becomes at the time of doing the PhD. Actually, I'm the first, my coursework is going on currently, but in few letters, in few months, means if I want to define any problem, right problems, so you are guiding in this session beautifully, that is how to define the right problem. So thank you very much for that.
No, the simplest idea is you read a paper and make two columns. You write what is good in that paper in one, and write what is not yet done. From the discussion and conclusion part, some hint is there as to what is not done. Like that, you keep reading 20 papers, and then 2 3 patents. The patents are available easily. Yeah, here is Prashant Puthani. Sir, writing review paper will help identify the problem. Now, Ashwini, you can go off.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So I will answer Mr. Puthani's question. See, usually guides will ask the student to write a review paper, but I may take liberty to put my view on this matter. Review papers are usually written by very senior scientists or engineers or academicians who have a lot knowledge. They write a review paper. Okay. So when your guide is asking you to write a review paper, this review paper is not going to get published because you are a newcomer in this. What basically the guide is asking you is to collect these 10, 20, 30 papers, you read them and clearly discuss each paper as to what is described in that paper, what is good in that paper, what is yet to be done in that paper, like that. It is a review. A review, when you write a review paper, this review paper is not going to get published till you have already done your own work. Okay. So this is just what we call literature survey. So what you are writing a review paper is nothing but literature survey. And it should not take more than 3 months. The literature survey continues throughout your 3 4 years of research. Within 3 to 4 months, you should fix the topic and find several gaps in that topic and start working. Does that answer your question? So Prashant Pudani says thank you. Okay, fine. Anyone else?
Anyone else questions, please ask.
By the way, let me understand from Ashwini, are most of the people in mechanical engineering?
No, sir. No, sir.
Ah, that's good. That's good. But I usually take examples from mechanical. For example, I will take one example how to define a problem. So in our MEMS, micro electromechanical systems, what we do is we make a cantilever in silicon. Can you see this? This is like a cantilever, okay? This is my main thing, and this is a cantilever. Now, mechanical and civil people will understand that if I put a point load on this cantilever end of it, this is the fixed end, right? This is the wall. If I put a point load on this, the deflection is called PL cube by 3EI. Right? This is our standard result. So EI is the Young's modulus, E and I is the moment of inertia, P is the point load, and L is the length of this cantilever. And these three is a very small number, and therefore the deflection is large. So this is the formula for deflection. So if I put a point load, the deflection occurs. So I would like to have a cantilever so that I want a lot of deflection to sense something. Something is being sensed, right? The force is being sensed. But the point is, these cantilevers, since they are only 1 micron thick, 10 micron wide, and 100 micron long, they're really tiny, They're, you can't even see. The hair is like 100 micron. So of the size of hair, the length of this is the size of hair. You can imagine. So it's very, very flimsy, and it usually breaks. We are not able to keep it alive. So what statement I will now make is that cantilever is sensitive, yes, but the problem is it breaks easily. So then it is of no use. So then I say I make a beam, right? I make a beam fixed at both ends, right? On both sides it is fixed. Now this beam is very, very strong. I have found in my experience, the beam does not break. Then I put a point load at the center of the beam. Then the whole expression of deflection at the center becomes PL cube divided by 192 EI. That means it is very, very small compared to that, at least something like 50 times smaller. So now I get it very, very strong, stable, but deflection is now unfortunately 50 times degraded. So what I have to do is I have to solve this problem. I want something which is strong, and it should have the same deflection as the other one. So this is the PhD problem. So we solved that problem by suspending it on two beams and take a torsion wire here. So there are two beams and torsion wire, and on the torsion wire, I use torsion to get the deflection, and that deflection was as good as that cantilever. But because of the two force supports, the double beam suspension, I got the result and I published that in the paper. My students who are undergraduate IIT students were also very happy to get this result because we solved that problem. We made a mechanical gadget which on a given load will give me deflection the same as that cantilever, but is now stronger. So like that, you have to find what is being done and then find a problem defined like this. So we have to make a very, very good, robust unit. And then it doesn't have enough sensitivity when you say, do something to get the sensitivity. So that's the gap. So like that, whatever is your existing system, the prior system, there will be a problem. So usually problems are defined in this way, that is something, the main function I get, but then there is some harm. The main function I get, but there is some harm. Then I have to solve that problem. So every system slowly improves, and your system must make, mechanical engineers must go into the industry 5.0 and apply AI. So that's the novelty. You have to get rid of some harm by using AI. Anyone else?
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Saddam.
yes, sir.
Please.
Yes. Sir, as far as the publishing of paper is concerned, you
Yes.
told just now that there is a review paper. One is like reviewing a paper. and the other one is like conducting experiment and drawing a conclusion from that and publishing. Is there any method apart from these two that we can do in order to publish the paper? Like any other thing is there?
No, for a new student, the review paper is out.
No, no, yes, sir, yes, okay, sir. But in general, like
Your guide can write a review paper based on the material you have given to him. Okay. So basically, you have to identify an activity in which some function is being performed, but then there is a harm 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then you have to systematically remove these gaps, right? Harms. So tomorrow's lecture, I will give you that, how to identify and then systematically eliminate the harm.
okay, sir.
Okay, you have not only my lecture, there are so many speakers are going to tell you all this. Basically, what is the basis of your paper? No? You must get a result which is better than best in the world. So for that, you have to first find out what is the best result available in the world. And then you have to make one up on that, right? You have to get an idea, novelty or something to possibly get a result which is better than that, right? So this is all what we call define the problem. Identify and define that, okay, I want to get a result better than all these results, which I already compiled. No, that is what we call the review paper, which your guide is asking you to do. Basically, complete the literature survey and write it down nicely. That's called a review paper. Okay, that's called a review. It may not go as a paper in some journal or like that, but it is necessary for your PhD. Is that okay, Saddam?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So tomorrow's lecture, as well as so many other speakers, will give you all that, right? Okay. Okay, let me ask a generic question. Participants, if you are still there, raise your hand. There is a hand symbol here below. Raise your hand if your guide has asked you to write a review paper. Just raise hand. Can you see the symbol below? Let me see. 2 minutes and I will stop the raise hand activity. Okay. So only a few people. The next query is, has the guide asked you to read 10 to 20 papers? You can raise hands. Now I got 6, 7. I'll give you 2 more minutes. Okay. The third query is tougher. Has any of your guides asked you to read patent? Raise hand if they have not asked you. All no answers, raise hand. There should be 90 of them. There should be at least 90 people who should raise hand because the answer is no.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Uma Maheshwara from Andhra Pradesh, Bapatla Engineering College.
Good.
To do research and publishing more number of papers, in the
Yes.
emerging fields like in mechanical engineering, additive manufacturing, these things.
Correct.
Being a private engineering college, we are unable to afford the facilities like FDM or something, right? Selective laser melting machine. If you want to purchase, we need to invest huge money.
Okay.
In such case, how to get the experimental facility?
No, that I think is a big question for your guide or the
Yeah,
department. So
yeah.
you have to write a proposal
Okay,
which uh, which has what I call two test vehicles. No? In the
okay,
proposal, you say I am going to make these kinds of welding. Okay,
okay,
some important welding,
okay,
and then for this I have this facility and I need this more facility, just one machine.
okay,
And then up to 50 lakhs, up to 5 crores, you can
okay,
make such proposals.
okay,
And for all I know, if you
okay,
are a
sir.
PhD student, it will become available for your next generation PhD student, not
Okay,
you. So you are
okay,
doing this good work on behalf of the
okay,
future PhD students. So I
okay,
think if there are professors here who are attending, who are
okay,
already
sir.
PhDs, they
Okay, sir.
must continuously make such
Mm.
proposals
Okay,
from 50 lakh to 2 crores, because
okay,
many machines cost.
oh, okay,
Just one important machine
okay,
you
sir.
you get, but you have to promise two important activities in that,
Sir, okay, sir.
because otherwise
I
you will have
hope,
to
uh, uh, I
otherwise
hope this
Vishwarao.
kind of problem is facing, I hope, right? Many institutions, like private institutions, because unable to afford experimental facilities, especially emerging technologies facilities.
Yeah, yeah, yes. I think at the end of this 5 days, if there is a session on the last day, I will come back to you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
We'll
Thank you, sir.
discuss.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You must do what we call the simulation-based work.
Okay, okay, okay.
And
Sir, there is one thing. If you keep on doing simulation work, means papers also will not get accepted. They will ask experimental validation.
I know, I know. So,
Now,
so what you do is in the simulation, you find the best settings and best
yeah.
activity, and
Okay.
get that thing done in the nearest IIT or like that. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You cannot get all 50 samples made there. They won't do
Oh,
it.
okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So this work you have to do yourself, and only with the best results that you get,
Okay.
make a few samples.
Okay. Okay.
They have got, all IITs have got programs like that for
Okay, sir.
external PhD students, particularly
Okay.
engaging in a particular activity.
Okay.
So whatever proposal you do at the registration time, no, with your
Okay, sir.
university,
Okay.
the
Okay.
same paper with some
Okay.
more addition has to go
Okay.
to the nearest facility center like IIT,
Okay.
IIT Hyderabad in your case. So
Okay.
you go there and get enrolled
Okay,
in
sir.
that.
Okay.
All right.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. So I think you must all have patience. You must attend all 5 days very carefully, listen to everybody carefully. Then you will get an idea that with meager facilities, a very one specific good facility, how good work. Okay. So if possible, uh, Ashwini madam.
Yes, sir.
If possible, I will come back on the last day, whatever your program. Keep half an hour for discussion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh? We
Definitely.
will then take a roll call on that. That whether people have found some way of getting hands on the modern experimental facilities, particularly with nearby IITs and so on. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay,
So
definitely.
thank you. Thanks everybody. Thanks for listening. Ashwini madam, I thought that you would be taking more than 15-20 minutes. So I kept my lecture short, I told you.
Okay.
So at least
Thank you, sir.
I could discuss a few things with everybody. But tomorrow it will be a full-fledged long lecture, right?
Thank you. Thank you, Apte, sir.
All right.
Tomorrow